Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. And I want to put to rest the rumors that I'm a bit of a ladies' man. I don't know where these started. Folks, it's been 3 days since Kabul fell. In the last 24 hours, U.S. troops have restored order inside Kabul's airport, allowing evacuation flights to resume. And when they're done there, maybe they could get them to restore order at our airports, because there's a guy duct taped to a seat in coach screaming about how masks are contaminating his sperm. Now, other than the airport, the Taliban control pretty much the entire country, including all the expensive stuff we left there. In their cakewalk to power, the Taliban grabbed U.S.-supplied guns, ammunition, helicopters, and combat aircraft. Normally, to get that many American weapons, you have to go to Walmart. Now, for the people of Afghanistan, today is the transition from how did this happen to what happens now. You see, the last time the Taliban were in power, it was a monstrously repressive regime. But this new Taliban claims they're a whole new Taliban. They're trying to come across as more moderate as they seek to rebrand themselves. Yes, they're saying they were the Taliban, but now they're the Talibuddies. As part of their new image, the Taliban are promising Afghanistan's women, trust us, we've changed. Also, they promise no reprisal killings. That's not really comforting when you have to guarantee that. It reminds me of Taco Bell's ad for the Gordita Crunch Wrap. This time, we promise it's meat. Anyone with a shred of a soul feels for the Afghan people. So naturally, that excludes Fox News host and dead-eyed Lego man, Sean Hannity. On his radio show yesterday, Hannity tastefully used the situation in Afghanistan as a point of departure to what to him was clearly a more important subject.
There is a stampede, not only out of Afghanistan, but a stampede away from high prices, overpriced service from the big carriers like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. The average family making the switch to Pure Talk.
He used the fall of Kabul, the tragic culmination of 20 years of U.S. sacrifice of lives and resources, as a clever segue to a sponsor. It reminds me of this moment in broadcast history.
Oh, and it's bursting into flames, much like the burst of flavor from double bubble gum. Oh, the chew-manity.
There's exciting news for people who like triggering their PTSD about the last 4 years, because the title and cover of Bob Woodward's new book about the former president has been revealed. It's called Peril, the follow-up to Woodward's other books about the 45th president, Fear and Rage. It's a trilogy like The Lord of the Rings or the former president's wives. Peril will look at the 2020 election, but also examine the January 6th insurrection and President Biden's inauguration. Wow, that is a fast turnaround. At this pace, Woodward's books are going to catch up to real time. And I'm told we have an advanced copy of his fourth book. It's called Now by Bob Woodward. How do we get this? Don't know? We got this? I've got, let's read a little excerpt right here. So Stephen opened to a random page and began to read from this book. How is he doing this? How is he doing this? Yee, he screamed as he recoiled and threw the book back to his stage manager, Mark. Yee! Even with Delta spreading like a wildfire made of hotcakes, there is big news about vaccinations, because tomorrow the Biden administration is expected to announce that most Americans should get a coronavirus booster vaccination 8 months after they receive their second shot. We're going to get a third shot, okay? So somehow they're going to have to make the vaccination card even bigger. It fits in most mid-sized sedans. The first people to get boosters will likely be nursing home residents and healthcare workers, who could get the jab as early as mid-September. Okay, so these are autumn shots. The options will be Moderna, Pfizer, or pumpkin spice. Now, I want to point out Now, this is a bit of a 180 for the CDC. Just last month, they said Americans who have been fully vaccinated do not need a booster shot at this time. First, masks. Now this. What else will the CDC suddenly flip on? Could I have been eating raw chicken this whole time? Like some rich guy's labradoodle? My coat could be so glossy. So vaccine sites are about to ramp up again. Do you hear that? Millions of Americans who are still on the fence about getting the first dose? Because the rest of us are about to go back for thirds. We are offering you that last slice of pizza before we take it. And in this case, the pepperoni doesn't kill you. So I encourage everyone to get vaccinated. But also, be careful which shot you get, because recently in Norway, a man was sentenced for smuggling 80 pounds of speed disguised as COVID vaccines. Okay, there's an easy way to tell the difference, okay? If you got the real vaccine, side effects include fever and fatigue. If you got the Norwegian shot, side effects include not blinking, grinding your teeth down to nubs, and staying up 72 hours recording a heavy metal concept album about elves. Then,
Put it out for Christmas.
Then fever and fatigue. On the plus side, every dose of speed is a booster shot. According to Norwegian border police, the smuggler hid the drugs in the roof of his van and then covered it in magnetic stickers with the BioNTech logo. Well, that's a dead giveaway. If they were real vaccines, you wouldn't need the stickers to be magnetic. The man's lawyers say he didn't know what he was smuggling, and the only reason his fingerprints were on the bags of drugs is because one of the bags fell from the hidden compartment and hit his head during the journey. Well, that reminds me of how Isaac Newton discovered gravity while on meth. No, hear me out. What if there's an invisible force that makes everything in the universe attracted to everything else in the universe? Hey, we should record a concept album about elves. In the other...
Heavy metal. They gotta be heavy metal.
Then let's clean the castle with the toothbrush. In other COVID news, people vacationing at national parks will need to pack a little something extra because the Park Service announced that all visitors must bring a face mask. That's new. Up till now, the only thing you had to bring was the false belief that you were going to enjoy 3 days of hiking. Why didn't anyone say that hiking required walking? Why is the whole thing outside? Don't say scenery, okay? I seen it from the car window. You're talking about walkery. It's not just visitors. Everybody, including employees and contractors, will have to wear a mask inside all National Park Service buildings and even in crowded outdoor spots. Well, that makes sense. Every hour, Old Faithful sprays fluids everywhere. Now, a lot of people are still divided about wearing masks. So the Park Service has released a mask PSA that appeals to both sides of the debate.
Only you can prevent the spread of COVID-19, so wear a mask. Psych! Just kidding. Masks make you infertile. Fauci is a robot programmed by George Soros. Woo! Let's set off fireworks in the redwoods. It's brown bear summer, bitch.
We got a great show for you tonight. My guests are the wonderful Amanda Peet and soccer aficionado Roger Bennett. But when we come back, I'll be talking with CNN's Clarissa Ward from Kabul